We cannot help you to manage what you have not tried to treat. Seek medical intervention. But it all begins there. First, psychological aspect of it, you have to accept yourself, then seek medication. Then from there, if it's chronic, we help you manage. Then we work with you. Yes.
Okay. Now, what is the challenge if I notice that I don't want to accept what I'm ailing from, or the challenge that I have in my health? Why should I not accept? Or why does it become so hard for someone to accept?
Because of the burden that it comes with it. You can imagine now a person who was leading a normal life, you know, maisha tu ya Mkenya wa kawaida. Then all of a sudden this person has diabetes, has hypertension, has cancer. You can imagine now the financial burden that it comes with. And then you see, anytime you tell a person that you're gonna live for this with this disease forever, in the mind of most people, it's like a death sentence.
Yeah, true.
So telling a person, by the way, you have this disease, it's like telling them, by the way, you're gonna die soon. You know, that is in the mind of many people, which is not necessarily the case, because we've had cases of people living with diabetes for 20, 30 years.
Sure.
Yeah. So now the consequence comes when you don't accept yourself. Then psychologically it troubles you. Then you're not able to lead your normal life. Yes.
Okay. What are the effects of yes, I know I'm suffering from a certain disease, but I've not accepted. How expensive does it look like you trying not to accept, or even thinking of the same thing all through? How does it worsen your situation?
It brings about complications, because most of chronic diseases, every chronic disease comes with its complication. So the more you don't accept it, the more you enhance the chances of having the disease complications. I tell you, for example, you have diabetes today. You fail to accept yourself, and you fail to seek necessary medical interventions. What will happen? You'll always be stressed about it. Eventually, you'll have ulcers. You'll begin to complicate the situation. So it makes the situation worse. Okay,
maybe someone is watching you and they are maybe in a certain situation, and they know there is the issue of realization, but the issue of trying to accommodate that this is what I'm going through. And the moment you keep on thinking of the same issue of your life, and after you think of it all, you're not changing anything, what advice do you have for such a person? And we may call them mod. Okay. What advice do you have?
The best thing to do is to go for psychological counseling. Yes.
Okay. What is the procedure of doing psychological counseling?
You book a session with a psychological counselor who is qualified and certified. Yes. Okay.
And I think someone may have issues of finances.
Well, they come with levels. If you cannot afford a private psychological counselor, we have them in public hospitals. Yes. Try your best to get help.
Okay. Now give like 5 hospitals that are public that can help someone undergoing such situation.
A good example is Kenyatta Hospital. I have interacted with some of the psychological counselors there, and they are so good, they are so available. So I would highly recommend Kenyatta Hospital, but we also have Kiabu Hospital, we have Bagathi. Basically, every public hospital that is a level 5, you'll always find psychological counselor there. Yes.
Okay, that's great. I think we were on the issue of preventing something from attacking, or some disease or some situations. Actually, we call them situations because we may have depression at the same time, and we have illness in its realness attacking someone. So we were in the issue of the side of preventing that. Now when it comes to curative, what does it mean? And now after you've done your prevention and it has failed, now it comes to the process of you going the curative way. Someone may also want to know the curative way of some situations that you find yourself in life.
Okay. It's good for people to understand that the curative bit of it all begins in the mind. It all begins in the mind, even before you go to the doctor. First, tell yourself that it's possible for me to be cured. It doesn't matter the name that you give to the disease. It really doesn't matter. it all begins with being positive. Then going to the doctor, then following the right medication procedures. Because you have scenarios where you have patients trying to like argue with the doctors in terms of, I don't want to be treated this way, I don't want to be treated this way, you know, I don't want injections, I want tablets. Understand that they've been trained to do that, and whatever they are doing is for your own good. Yes.
Okay.
And we usually say that the earlier, the better. Yes. The earlier you begin to seek for medical intervention, and anytime you discover that you have a disease, the better. Yes.
Okay, some people, before they start the process of treatment or curing what situation they have in life, they may decry financial constraints. And what is important here is the health, not finances. Someone who has got no finances to start at the process of treatment, where do you think is a specialist, health promotion specialist? Because I think you promote what is low, and you have to raise it into a bar that people will accept and know that, okay, if it's life, it has to be lived in such a level. So you find I have a situation that is not, that I can't accommodate, or even that is compromising, and I have to feel like the other people, and I have got no finances to start off the process. Without finances, where can someone begin? The situation, or even the situation in quotes, the sickness, it is chronic.
The very first step, don't say that you don't have money. Go to the hospital. Go to the hospital and explain, this is where I am, this and this where I'm coming from. I don't have money to do this and this. From there, you'll be able to take over. As you said, it's not about the money necessarily, it's about your health. So first, begin with where you can. The first step is going to the hospital. One. Secondly, we are highly encouraging people to go the insurance way, because health insurance covers are really helping us to solve a lot of financial challenges with people. Most of the ones who are managing chronic illnesses. Yes, it's very important for you to have a health insurance cover.
Okay, now when it comes to insurance in life coverage, what are some of the packages that we have? Actually, the cheapest for someone who may feel that I'm not up to, maybe you find that there are premiums that are going for even above 10,000 per month, and there's someone who won't afford the same. For people living, we don't want to use the word marginalized, but we can also use it, because when it comes to a place where many people are, you have to find there are classes, there are levels, there are different expectations at the same time. And here, I want to quote the marginalization in terms of finances. I feel that my pockets are not enough to do the health insurance, which is the lowest that I can do, and what are the packages if you have the knowledge of the same?
As simple as go for SHA.
SHA. Okay, now that you've touched SHA, it is the most burning issue that a lot of people have not understood. You can give us a short or small clarity, or a shallow clarity on what SHA is and what it all entails.
SHA, in the best of my understanding, it's just an improvement of NHIF. The main goal is to ensure that every person, regardless of the social class, they are able to access medical interventions. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, what is the advantage of SHA against NHIF that was?
The advantage of SHA is that you're able to, using SHA, you're able to have many medical procedures done under it, as compared to how NHIF was. NHIF was a bit limited as compared to SHA. You know, with SHA we have broader.
Because I think now, because we've mentioned the same, there is someone who are still not migrated from NHIF to SHA. So they still wonder what packages or what benefits came with SHA. But because you're on the topic of SHA, I think that is enough for someone to understand that if you have to do life insurance, or even you have to have the covers for life insurance, because when it comes to issues of finances, and I think any disease or situation in sickness that comes in your life does not signify you that I will be coming this time. So it is a preparatory way of us being able to navigate or even go through some issues if we do the insurance like the show.
True.
Yeah, that's a great one, and I think that was a good opener for the show.
It really was.
Now, because we've come for personal branding, and you health promotion specialist or a strategist, you have to put things into place.
True.
When it comes to health, when it comes to life. As I said from the start, from being, I may be hearing the branding first time, I may think there is the issue of postering. Unatafuta posters, unaenda unaweka hapo Metro nje, unaweka Jericho nje. So someone may think branding and postering is the same thing. So what is branding? Personal branding.
Personal branding it's the public-facing identity that you create for yourself. For example, anytime I hear the statement spheres of life, what comes to my mind first is Jeff Somba. And anytime I hear Jeff Somba, what comes to my mind is the spheres of life. So it's because that is the person that is the public-facing identity that you have created for yourself. Anytime I hear of a person like Elon Musk, what comes to my mind? Tesla, SpaceX. So simply, it's what comes to your mind. It's what goes to other people's mind anytime your name is mentioned. Yes.
Okay. Now here, because it's about health, the moment they hear someone like Jeff and Jeff is not known, how do they identify with the fact that the person in question here is Jeff or another name?
What?
Now, you've said it's about personal identity, like. It's like you're going to Google and you have to paste something or you have to write something on the space. If you actually there's the search engine, there's something that you have to write there so that you search something like Google Maps. You have to write where you're going or where you want to go, something like such a sort. And here, someone X is not known, and maybe they are suffering from something, or even they've done something. Or what encompasses personal branding?
Personal branding, what encompasses it, first of all, is you as a person, your personality. First of all, it's not the number one thing, your personality. Secondly, your purpose. Your purpose is basically what you do. And thirdly, the value that you have to offer to people. Yes. Okay.
Now, and why is personal branding important in today's life?
Personal branding is very, very, very key. Remember, you're living in a world where digital space is determining a lot of things. If you have to grow, you and social media have to be friends because it's influencing a lot of things. So personal branding will help people to perceive you in a way that you want them to perceive. For example, if I'm building a hospital, it's through personal branding that I'll be able to market and to grow my business that way. So personal branding is very important in the current world. Most for the people who are willing to grow business-wise, it's very key. Yes.
And to matters health.
To matters health is also very key because it's through personal branding that you're able to know like where to draw the lines. I was watching something yesterday about a lady who is always into gyms, into nutrition, into health articles, and she has been trying to advise diabetic patients. So she has branded herself in such a way that anytime you want to learn something about diabetes, anytime you want to learn something about chronic, you'll always go to that channel. Whether she's on Facebook, she's on LinkedIn, she's on YouTube. She has branded herself that way. Yes.
Okay. Now, there's someone maybe who wants to build their personal brand from the scratch. What are some of the strategies that someone can use to make sure that they actually, one thing to clarify or even to make a simpler meaning for personal branding, like you go to town and you find the big billboards. The moment actually, and what they do to place the billboards on strategic places is that they have to be so choosy And if you have to, for much visibility, you have to pay more for that. So the moment you enter town and you find bigger billboards, some screens, some projection on the walls of some buildings, I think that may be a simpler meaning for what personal branding may mean. Actually, to make sure that people see you from, actually a bigger percentage of people see you or try to notice you from what you're doing, far much better from your facial appearance and personal appearance, what you do, your identity, the things that you do in your life. So someone wants to know, now I want to build my personal brand. Where do I start from? Yeah.
First, be sure of what you want to do. That is what I said. That is what I meant when I said purpose, because you cannot want to build a personal brand, but then you're doing everything. You have to be specific. You have to be specific. If, for example, I'll be selling medical products, be specific on that. Secondly, learn everything that you can learn. Anything that you need to learn in that specific field that you've chosen. Then create your social media appearance. I think one of the things people trivialize in the current world, more so in this world of Gen Zs, is this idea of social media. Like you find people have social media handles in which they can post anything, they can comment anything, not knowing that it really matters, because what you post is what I will look at, and that is what I'll use to judge you. So it's very important that you create a very clean social media channel for yourself, whether it's be Facebook, whether it's be TikTok, whether it's be YouTube. Make it clean and make it and ensure that it is as professional as possible. When you do that, ensure consistency, because there is nothing that happens overnight. For you to have a brand, you have to be consistent, and then you have to be as patient as you can. Yes, but consistency there is key. Consistency, but be specific. Yes.
And patient at the same time.
Yes.
And now they say that you don't have to put all your eggs in one basket. And now you have to measure on one thing. You have to have a synergy, or every aspect, or even every revenue that you have, every energy that you have to synergize it into one thing. Now, this one thing may come to fail. What is the issue of someone not diversifying, or even doing two or three things at the same time? What is the disadvantage of the same?
The disadvantage. Let me see.
An advantage.
Let me begin with the advantages. You know, when you focus on one thing, always remember this, that intensity beats extensity every time. If you're chasing two rabbits, the chances are you lose both of them. They'll all run away from you. But then when you're specific on one thing, the chances of losing are usually low. But when you're chasing two things, you have the divided attention. So the chances of succeeding in both is usually not so high. You usually say that you might be multi-talented, but you can never be multi-exceptional. Always remember that. So the advantage of chasing one thing is that the chances of you succeeding are usually so high than when you're chasing two things. Yes.
Okay.
Well,
something else,
And also, you see, let me give you an example with the Coca-Cola company. Coca-Cola company, when they were beginning, they pushed one product, Coca-Cola, ile soda ya Coke yenye tunajua, the Coke. Yes. But when they pushed that successfully, they were able now to bring other aspects. Now we have Fanta, now we have blackcurrant, we have many of them. But you see, the major selling brand for them is Coca-Cola. Yes. So it has to be that way, and it works that way with branding. What most people fear is failure. Well, how sure are you that when you chase two things, you're not gonna fail?
I think the narrative or the thought is not even a thought, it's a mindset that you can't succeed in both and you can't fail in both. So if one fails, you have to rely on the other.
An African mindset.
So I don't think whether it will be so easy for us to change the mindset and the attitude at the same time, but
it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way when it comes to branding. You have to be specific. You have to chase one thing. Rather chase and fail, because now you learn. Rather than trying to chase two.
It's such a great explanation.
someone tells me spheres of life, what comes to my mind is Jeff Somba. It helps a person to have that public identity. And it helps people to position you, because it's how people how people perceive you is how they position you. Yes. So it helps to create that perception to people, and it enables people to easily position you. And you know, personal branding, it affects all aspects of life. How you've branded yourself as a person is what determines who you'll marry. It what determines whether you'll get that promotion at work or you'll not. It what determines whether your business will grow or not. Yes, that is why branding is very, very important.
Okay. Yes. And what are some of the mistakes someone can do doing personal branding?
One, trying to compete. It's one of the mistakes that most people do.
Okay, now you still proceed on the same, but sometimes we compete so that maybe you can be on the ground all over the years. It's like president wanting, or even any leader wanting to stay for the longest time possible. And remember, the moment you stay, you suppress some ability, you suppress some strength that may be growing within the village, within the society, or within a certain country. Yeah, so...
Okay, by competition, what I mean is this negative energy that people or some brands have of wanting to bring others down for them to rise. Anytime you're trying to do that, that is a clear indication that you don't have definiteness of purpose, that you're not clear. We say this, Jeff, that in the realm of success, the space is too large. There is no one who needs to fall for you to rise.
True.
Anytime you're specific on what you do, you don't need to compete. You don't need to compete. And you see, even in the political world, when your time lapses, it has lapsed. You can only step down. There is nothing much you can do. So there is no point in competition, most when it comes to branding. Just be specific in what you want, and then, as I said earlier, learn everything you need to learn in that specific in that specific field. Yes. Okay. So competition is one enemy. Secondly, is lack of definiteness of purpose, failing to know what exactly you want to do. Yes. So because when you don't know what to do, you find yourself trying to do so many things. And a jack of all trades is a master of none.
Okay, I think I still got to know that, because you've said that you need to have a vision, you need to have a focus and a dimension. You still have to know what am I running after, or what am I running for. What is the real target for personal branding? Now, we've checked about the advantages and disadvantages of the same when you're trying to it's like you are on crossroads. Now, what is the real target for? Because we've said no competition, and sometimes there is negative competition, there is positive competition. And I want to have a model. There is someone who I've been watching all through my life, and I want to do something very close to what they've been doing. And from the authenticity or the realness of my art, it's like I'm not competing. I just like from birth what someone has been doing.
I agree.
Yeah. So my question is, what is the real target for personal branding?
The real target of personal branding is answering your question why in life. It is this question that most mentors will tell you, always know why you are existing, why you are doing this. Anytime you have your question why, you have a definite direction. You see, that is the major essence of personal branding. You are able to answer your why. Your why am I in business to solve this specific problem? Yes.
Okay. Now there is the issue of authenticity with professionalism in your personal branding. Yeah, we want to know, as I had mentioned, the realness of you, or the practicality of you. And I want to call the practicality, the authenticity, you being you. If it's LILIAN Wanjiru, we want to know it's LILIAN. If it's metropolitan, it's metropolitan. Yes. How do you ensure that there is that authenticity in your personal branding? Because as I said, there is the factor of competing and there is the factor of copying. Yeah, and when it comes to copying, you may want to compete and you fail because maybe resources and our strength do not allow you to go up to be up to that level of your competitor. Then you have to copy, and the moment you copy, that is, I think, where conmanship gets in. So how do we ensure that we are authentic in our personal branding?
As I said, by knowing exactly what you want and learning everything you ought to learn. Secondly, it's always good to have mentors. More so when we have two types of personal branding. We have the marketing bit of it, and then we have the self-identity bit of it. When you're building the market, it's always good to have mentors. You know, mentors are people who have gone ahead of you in that specific area. So they help you they hold you hard, they guide you, they tell you, hey, okay, and you'll find some meanderings along the way. So avoid this route, follow this route. Yes. Okay. So mentorship is very key when it comes to personal branding, also for a person who is just beginning from scratch. Yes. Okay.
And now sometimes there is that issue, I don't want you to go past me. Yes, you've been looking at me, we've never met, and you've always said that this is my role model. And now, when it comes to me, the moment you approach me, yes, I feel you and I understand what you want. And the speed and the gears that you're engaging, I would feel there is a way you go past me and past what I'm doing. Want that to happen. So I don't want, I won't feel to guide you. And again, I feel if I guide you, I have to misguide you.
Because I don't want you to go past me.
I don't want you to compete and win me. So what are we supposed to do now that I've faced? Yes, I've identified a mentor, a role model, and after approach 1, 2, 3, I've known that they don't want to help me too far. What am I supposed to do? Remember, it is still pushing me down, and I'm starting off from the scratch.
That is where you really have to build your muscles, because always when you're dealing with people, you have to understand that human beings are human beings. You'll always meet those people, as you're saying, they will help you, but on just to a specific place. I want you to grow, but I don't want you to grow past me. So that is why you really have to build your muscles. Always learn to see ahead. Yes. So, because the only thing that can limit you, I usually remind myself every day, the only two determinants of how far I go in life is me and God. The mentor was just meant to help me for some time. So when it comes to that time when you have to part ways with the mentor for you to grow, please just let it be. Yes. Don't let your mentor to again be your God. Apana. They can mentor you, but when it comes to a point where they're now beginning to be the enemy to your own growth, it's only wise enough for you to let go. And also now speaking to that person who is mentoring, who is now being the mentor to this specific person, always remember that, as I said, in the realm of success, the area is so large. There is no one who needs to fall for you to rise. If this person rise above you, it doesn't mean that you failed. No. Actually, if you are a father, for example, and you bring up children who are either like you or worse than you, chances are you failed. The same thing happens in mentorship. If I mentor a person and they end up being like me or someone less than me, it means that I failed as a mentor. So their success is your success. And
the moment they fail, you still failed. Indeed. And maybe in executing your duty as a role model.
True.
Okay, that's a good one. Now, the last one, as we read some few comments that we are receiving here on EBN TV, the Spheres of Life, is what is the purpose or what roles is social media playing in personal branding?
Social media is playing in personal branding. I want you to understand, first of all, that everything you do in social media counts. You know, that careless comment that you dropped in someone's account, it matters. Yes. That provocative picture that you posted in social media, it matters, because you never know who is watching. You never know who is watching. You say, one day you'll go for an interview and you feel that in that interview you're all qualified, but then but they have to get that one person. What do they do? They'll dig more. We want to know this person more. They'll they'll find their way to your social media accounts, and then they find the funny things that you post there. That's how you lose it. Social media is becoming a very critical tool in branding, not just in branding, but in every aspect of life. It's very important to be careful. That is why I say learn how to clean your accounts. Make them to be as professional as possible, as authentic as possible. And if you cannot afford to have a clean social media handle, then don't have it.
Okay, now it's like I crossed with someone who is my friend, and yes, we did it physically. We confronted one another physically, but now I want to spread it all over social media. And you see, the moment we crossed, it was not. We were not in good terms, so we have to do it. It has to be a better part of feud for both of us. And now I've done that. I do that on social media. I would feel that you give a piece of advice to someone, to people who does, and if it is a point of confrontation that is so negative, where should they do the same?
First, always remember that social media never forgets. You know, these things that people do, just because I'm angry, I'll go to social media and post this nasty thing about a person. Na wengine pia wataenda kwa WhatsApp. You know, I have to make this person feel bad, even if I'm not inboxing or her. You know, so I put on my status something so nasty. You know, always remember that social media never forgets. Most of this, kina Facebook, kina Twitter, you don't know how, you don't know who screenshot it. You don't know who forwarded it. You don't know, you know it's a realm where the much you can do is to be careful, because once you post, you have no control over what happens after you post. So it's very, very important. I always say that it's very important to ensure that anything you do is being led by insight. Insight, but not your feelings, because people do that basically because of their feelings.
True.
Yes, because I confronted we had a confrontation with my boss. You know, I go and type something silly. It's not worth it.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
As we come back, we shall be doing. We shall know what personal audit is, or personal branding. Personal brand audit, what it may mean. So some of the comments that we're receiving here, remember you're watching EBN TV, these spheres of life. Some of your comments, we're starting with Paul Nzuve. The topic is worth listening, tapping wisdom from Mbol. Well, Karen, thank you for watching. Douglas, good job. Douglas again, the program is very educative. Keep it up, Jeff. Thank you, Pastor Douglas. We've Douglas again watching from Arambi Estate. And other comments that we are having, with Dinah Mwania, good evening, our host and the guest. The show is late. Following from Eastlands, thank you for watching. With Dinah Mwania again, welcome. Lilian, good to see you. With Immaculate Modoni, tuned in from Meru, the show is late. Thank you for watching. With Peggy, tuned in from Kasarani. With Virginia Nzuve, watching from Sultan. Thank you for watching. With Ken Alesaina, tuned in from Kisumu. Show iko late kabisa. Pass my greetings to Lilian. Lilian, umesalimiwa na Ken. And Ken unaitishwa amena huku. We've done Felicitas, tuned in from Kayole. We have Dan K. Kisilu, tuned in from Buruburu. We've David Jue, tuned in from Buruburu. Thank you, David. We've Catherine Moki. Personal branding is very key, especially when one is in business. Loving the show. Thank you, Catherine. We've Douglas again. The program is worth watching. Douglas again. Following from Eastlands, a Rampi Estate. Watching, thank you. With Paul Nzuve, the topic is worth listening to, wisdom from, or picking wisdom from Paul Karen. With Ruth Cliff, following, thank you. With Jen Faith Gideon, so enlightening. Thank you for watching. Jen Faith again, following from Shujamal. Thank you for watching. With John Kanambo, tuned in from Kiambu. Sister, you are going for Kanunga finest, okay? And we've got Muyaki Watobi official, following from Kasarani. Thank you. Kama kuna comment yako sijasoma, I'll be responding it through through to your account. So thank you for watching. If you've not sent your comment, you can still do the same and it shall be responded to. And because of time, I think what we shall be doing, we do the final thing, but we promise to bring Lilian back this coming Sunday so that we finish on the topic and on the show. So as we finish up, what is personal audit?
Personal brand audit.
Yes.
This is a process where you do evaluation to see the effectiveness of your brand and whether it aligns to your goals. That is basically what personal brand audit is all about. Yes.
Okay. And what are the strategies that you do to, how can you know that my brand is going low or is going up? I'm improving or I have to shut my brand?
By first of all, wanting to know whether you're moving close to your goals. Like, are you moving or are you where you are when you began? Secondly, it's the feedback you get from people because it's not every person who's gonna lie to you.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So there is a way you have to evaluate the feedback you get from people, either positive or negative.
Yes.
Suppose much of the compliments are negative. What should one do?
When they are negative, they're better.
Yeah.
Ask me why.
Why?
Because it means that people are really paying attention. And you see, when people pay too much attention, what happens? They tend to criticize.
Yeah, true.
That is where negative comments come from. Learn, if I were running a brand and I happen to see so many negative comments, I'll use that chance to re-evaluate and to learn. Yes.
But some do it to criticize, actually to make sure that you fall.
Negative criticism, it's just like a plant that doesn't have roots. Eventually it dies.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. I think that is what we shall be finishing with. Your identity, your final word, then we close. We do it again this coming Sunday so that we make sure that we have a standing or we have a foothold for our audience.
Yeah, so again, first of all, is to thank you for hosting me. I don't take it for granted. And to our viewers, thank you so much for lending us your time. As I said, I'm Lilian. To get me, I'm only active on Facebook. Yes. My phone number 0740-313264. Yes, and I work at Metropolitan Hospital.
You can do it again.
Yes.
You can do the number again.
0740-313264.
Okay, you've got Lilian's number and contact information if you want to reach out to her for business and for either the promotion. You can do the same. You can reach out to her so that she can help you where necessary. Remember what we normally do here on Spheres of Life. We make sure that every story that we have is not killing you alone. We are here as a people. We are here as one of our very own to make sure that we share the challenge that you have. As we normally say on Spheres of Life, we make sure that we have transparency, we have sanity, and we have objectivity in our stories. And again, we make sure that we meander across every story and we have a standing for you, we have a foothold for you, and we make sure that we give you a space where you can grow and you can change your life. We've got Lilian Wanjiru. She's a health promotion strategist or a specialist from Metropolitan Hospital, and the topic was personal branding. I know you've got something, and I know your comment has been read, and if it's not read, you can send it and you can still read, which can still respond to your words. Thank you for watching. Thank you for doing it as you've done it, because